Yeah. Wendy is recording. Did you figure it out how we're going to, did you talk to Jamie?
I know how to record. I just don't know how to download yet. So I'll get on that.
Okay.
It's been recording the whole time, I think.
So I am brilliant with a computer. So like I push an enter button and then I like somehow download a virus all the time. And my husband has to fix it every time. But he has fixed that for me so many times that I literally will do my Zooms and then I'm like, hey, here, hon, it's done. And he'll go over and be like, oh my gosh, let me just upload this to YouTube. I'm like, you're better at this thing than me. So maybe you should be an ambassador. I don't know.
Right. He's not signed up yet?
Oh, no, I just mean he has to work it. And I don't
Got it.
Never mind, I'm stopping. Okay.
So Amanda chimed in. She said they send you the link, but we figured that out, right, Wendy?
Yeah, I think, because I'm using a Windows-based computer right now, and I don't normally have one. I have a Mac, and so I just need to figure out where to find it so that I can download it. So I will figure it out. I'm going to chat with my upline after this is over with and get a step-by-step from her.
Okay.
So we will get it.
All right. Well, let's get started so we can hear all the good nuggets from Joanne and from Liz. So anyway, welcome everybody to tonight's Monday Motivational. I am so glad that you all could attend. I am Lisa Hernandez, Ruby Ambassador, and I am here tonight with two special guests. We have Joanna Miller and Liz. Do you do your full name, Liz?
Bachelor. I'm just kidding. I totally made it exotic. No, just Liz Bachelor. I can't go by Elizabeth. That's too formal.
Okay. Liz Bachelor. Did I say it right?
You did. You're amazing. Like the married, unmarried guy who had to get married from a bachelor.
Okay.
That's cute.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. So I had the pleasure, and was it April? I'm not even sure. I'm not a very detailed person, so I believe it was April or January, February, March. They can tell you of earning the Silver Stars trip. I didn't really know much about the trip before I earned it. There are 3 people.
Sorry, that was my phone. I'm stopping.
Okay. There are only 3 people that earn that trip every month in Plexus, and it is a pretty spectacular trip. Like I said, I didn't know much about it at all before I earned it. It was very shocking when I earned it. The story behind it's funny, but I don't want to take up the whole time explaining that because I want you to hear from these 2 beautiful ladies. So earning it is you have the most silvers developed in that month. Out of the entire company. They fly you to Scottsdale, Arizona. You get to have dinner and lunch with the executives. They put you up in a very schwanky resort called, ours was the Omni, I can't think of, I always say Melaleuca.
Omni was in the name, so.
Monaluco, something like that. Anyway, I remember when we landed there, my husband and I, and we went to the pool. We just kind of looked around and we were like looking at each other and we're like, how did we get here? Like, what are we doing here?
Pinch me. Yeah, seriously. It was
crazy. Like, I'm very simple, small town. It was very, very shocking how fancy and wonderful this was. We were treated to spa treatments. They really, really pull out the red carpet. And we got to have a tour of headquarters, that was amazing in itself. That to me was one of the highlights of the trip. Learning where the products come from, how they package them, their whole system for what they do, and how they treat their employees, and just that was really a cool experience to be kind of in the customer service and just kind of the gritty of what happens. We know what we do out here, but what's happening behind the scenes was very, very cool. So anyway, another really cool thing about meeting Joanne and Liz is that we are all really different.
Oh,
very, very different backgrounds.
We're all polar opposites, I'd say. Seriously.
I totally would say that. And yet we all earned that trip. you know, so there's no like magic recipe, magic person, somebody, you know, this is just, it's anybody. We're all running our businesses very, I think, differently. We have different things that drive us. We're just very different. And it was such a cool experience to get to know them, to get to know their husbands, to get to see, you know, a little bit about their story, why they joined, who they are. Just the whole experience was amazing. And I'm going to let Joanna explain a little bit more so that, because you guys get to hear from me a lot. So it'll be much more fun to hear from somebody else. Anyway, these girls are, I just absolutely adore them. I adore who they are as people. I learned so much from them. I learned so much from the different styles that they have. And I believe that I've been pulling a little bit ever since I met them from both of their styles, and I've been implementing them in my own business, and it has helped me immensely. So anyway, I love you girls, and I so appreciate you being on the call tonight. So Joanne, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and whatever you want to share with us.
Okay, well, thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. Thank you for asking me to be on tonight. I'm so excited to just share some of my story and my experience with Silver Stars. So I'm Joanna Miller. I'm a Ruby ambassador with Plexus. I started Plexus in December of 2014, and I went silver 6 months later. Wait, it took me 6 months to go silver, then it took me 10 more months to go gold, 16 more months to go senior gold, and then 5 months after that to go ruby. And that's kind of my story. And I got started with Plexus because I just wanted to feel better. I was really struggling. I had a baby, and I had lots of health issues, fatigue, just crazy mood swings, hormone imbalances, lots of things going on. And so that's why I started. And then I kind of just started with the business after, just because I needed to get my products paid for. And then I saw the opportunity. And it's been the biggest blessing for my family. I can't say enough good about it. Just, yeah, I'm almost making more than my husband is at his full-time job, which is crazy. And we're moving this month. And so it's just like, I don't know what we would do without Plexus and the income. So that's kind of my background. I am married to a police officer. I have 2 little kids. Life is crazy. How I earned Silver Stars, I think that was one of the things were one of the questions or things we're going over. I would say how I earned it was just being really consistent. So I knew what Silver Stars was. I'm a little different than Lisa, as in, like, I knew what it was and I wanted to earn it. And so that was a goal of mine. So I have 2 power partners, and they earned it in, they earned it in February. So they went to corporate in March, I think was it. No, they earned it in March and they went in April. And so they both earned it and I did it. And it was like so depressing, and just like, I just was so bummed. But I didn't stop working. I kept doing what I was supposed to be doing and being consistent and training my team and, you know, all the things. And I earned it the next month. And so I think that's one of the things that I learned throughout that, was not to let comparison and disappointment bring you down and like keep you from working. Because if I had just like stopped for a month just because I was just tired and disappointed, then I wouldn't have earned it that month. And so, yeah, I think just being consistent and, you know, working your business at least a little bit every single day, even if it's just for 15, 30 minutes, just doing something every day. And then my process for silvers, getting people to my team to silver, is in the first 48 hours, I make sure to I introduce them to my upline, to my sponsor, so they can, you know, be in touch with them and just kind of meet them. I add them to the team page. I give them a video toolbox, and it's all within about the first 48 hours or so. And I'm just kind of giving them all the basics. And then I see if they want to do an online Facebook event. And if they do, then I'll set up an event for them, and we'll do like a launch party for them on Facebook. And then just being there for them, and especially like the first 30 days, and teaching them about three-way messages and being available and just kind of hand-holding for the first 30 days. And so they can just learn how to do it, just because, I mean, you know, no one starts Plexus and knows like what they're doing really for the most part, and they just need to be taught. And so just, I think that is what I would say too, leading by example, like working my own business and showing them that I'm doing the things that I'm telling them to do. And yeah, I think, and then as far as like what I thought about my experience at corporate and like the whole trip was incredible. I actually live in Arizona, so I'm only like an hour and a half from there. But the resort we stayed in was the fanciest place I've ever stayed in my life. And I mean, we're very like, we don't do fancy things hardly ever, just because, well, we never had the money for it. But we're just really simple too. And so it was really, really fun getting to stay in like a fancy place, having like a handwritten note from Tarl and Alex just telling us congrats in our room, congrats on earning it, and getting like a cheese platter brought in. And like, they just make you feel like so special. It was really cool. And like Lisa was saying, just seeing how like serious they take our products, and getting to be like go in all like the little places of corporate and see where the products come in and how they check them, making sure that they're like the top quality, and if there's even like one teeny tiny thing like messed or wrong with it, like they send back the whole truck, not just like that one bottle, like the whole truck. So I thought that was so cool, and that built my belief in the products even more, just knowing that like they're very serious and making sure that we get the top quality. And then just seeing how like everyone was treated at corporate, they're just like so down to earth, and and it was really horrifying seeing Liz's thing get shattered all over the floor. I still have nightmares about that. But so I'll tell you about that.
I need counseling. Oh.
But anyway, you guys, I think like my biggest takeaway, and then I'll hand it over to Liz, is that anyone can do this. Because so when I started Plexus, I didn't have social media. I did not have Facebook. I was introverted. I did not care if anyone knew about my life. I had no desire to share about it on social media, so I didn't have it. And I stayed at home most of the time with my little girl. I like to read and just stay with my family and myself. But I knew I needed social media when I started if I was going to be successful. So I made myself get it, and I just every day learned how to be good at it. And I feel like, I think I was 22 or 23 at the time. So I didn't have like a ton of influence because I was younger. I didn't have social media, but that's all things that you can become really, really good at. And so I feel like you hear it a lot, like, if I can do it, anyone can, but it's really true. So it's just doing the steps that your sponsor and your upline are telling you to do, being coachable, being consistent, doing your IPAs, all those simple things, the day-to-day things, and you're going to be successful. I feel like that is what attributed to earning the silver stars and all of that. So anyway, I'll pass it on to.
I have a question before we go on. I want to, because I'll forget. So, something else. I mean, a lot of women in network marketing in Plexus, one of the common things that we hear is that our husbands aren't super supportive right away. And I remember your husband still like making jokes about it being a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, he's a stink pot. Yeah.
While we were at corporate. So how long though did it take him to like really trust with you?
Well, yeah. So when I started, he hated Plexus, and that's what he said all the time. It's a pyramid scheme. It's whatever. He thought it was so stupid. We got into like so many arguments, and it was really sad. But I just wanted to feel good again, and I believed in the product because not my best friend, but a really good friend, I had signed up under her. And so I believed in the product. I believed in the opportunity from all the stories I had heard. So I knew this was something that was real. And so even though he was like very unsupportive in the beginning, I feel like when he started to see changes in my health, and when he started to see me be successful is when he started to change his tune. so probably like 2 months in or so, he started to notice differences because I had like these crazy mood swings where I'd be like happy one minute and like nasty the next. And like I was a mess. And so he started to see a difference. And so he started believing in the products himself from that, and then from his own health testimonial. And he is one of my biggest supporters now. He'll make cracks about it because he's weird. I don't know. But he loves it, and he's very supportive, which is why he's with the kids right now while I'm working. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I just wanted to share that because that was really, that struck me. And I know so many people struggle with that in the beginning. So it's like, just keep believing, keep doing what you're doing, and they eventually have to come around.
Yeah, let that fuel you. Like, that's what I did, is like his like disbelief or unbelief in the products and the company and other people, like his family, all the haters, I let that fuel me to be successful because I was going to prove them wrong. And I'm very competitive and very like stubborn. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. And so I have, and now like they're almost, so many of them are on board now. They take the products, and my husband, you know, he's completely on board. And yeah, so just prove it to them, show them that it's the real deal.
Right on. Thank you very much, Joanna.
Yeah.
All right, Liz.
Content. Yeah.
Liz and I we can air forever,
we can
right?
make stuff up that isn't even there. We can make up words that don't even exist.
Right.
It freaks me out.
Okay, so when you start, can you please tell everybody what the joke is that Joanna is still having nightmares about? What broke the ice for all of us?
Okay. Yes, this is a two-parter though, and the second part you probably won't know that I'm about to mention. But the first part is, bless my husband's heart. I'm going to give you this piece first. Last year I won top 10 enrollers, and I got the award, and it was awesome and beautiful. And I want you guys to know, I had no freaking idea what that was. They literally called me, and I wasn't snarky deliberately. I was more playful, like, yeah, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. So they called me, and I'm not kidding. You guys, I seriously was like, oh, this is a cute game I'm playing. So I was posting on Facebook, like joking and my unicorns and all that stuff. It was just a fun thing for me for a minute, even though it wasn't fun because I got in a big fight with my husband the night I ordered it. That wasn't as fun, but I really just was messing around. And so my point is, I won in the top 10 enrollers because, oh my gosh, if you get real and you get vulnerable and you put it out there, floods of people will be like, holy crap, I had no idea you were struggling, because nobody knew I was struggling. Nobody. And I'm just the mom with an everyday story. And I have really pushed this with my team. I don't care if you have fibromyalgia or lupus or PCOS or just, you know, your garden variety anxiety, because someone else struggling more does not make you struggle any less. And I think that's so important. And the power of that kind of gives people that permission. When you're real and you put it out there, people latch onto that. They need validation. So all my posts were real and raw. So I would get these floods of people, and like I was getting 20 and 30 a month, and it was crazy. Like I didn't know what normal was. And so my upline, Christy Jackson, Emily Gibson, were like, what the crap are you doing? I'm like, I'm just posting on Facebook. But they were all playful. I was doing my 60s June Cleaver picture and all this stuff, kind of staging my grandma cat lady and my mom jeans post. I did them all. And they're not pretty. They're as ugly and unattractive, but it was totally lighthearted. And I did it to create a brand for myself, because I've done marketing. And so it's kind of figuring out how to get people to want to know what you're going to do next. And so there was a lot of strategy that went into this. So I enrolled a ton. I won that award. It was stolen in our hotel room. I'm not joking. And I have complained on about this. And I said, but when I'm a diamond, I better freaking get that replacement. Okay. Because it's gone. So somebody stole my top 10 enrollers thing. It had my name on it. Who cares? What are you hawking this? So somebody stole it. Pretty sure that the maid or my roommate, who we don't know very well, stole it. We still joke that she stole it. She took my peanut butter. I'm sure she took my award. So we totally it was so bizarre. So that's the setup. That was stolen from my hands. And we're there at Silver Stars, and bless my husband's cute little heart, he's holding it and he's like, oh, you know, these are so heavy and it'd be terrible if it slipped. And it, sure enough, it shattered. This is the lead crystal. So my award shatters all over, and they got it on camera. I was like, I want that in slow-mo. I want that put to music, and I want like awesome. I want Dr. Phil to come in and help me through it. It was so awesome. Anyway, that happened. So, but here's the cool thing, guys. I'm just going to say this tiny, no big deal thing says so much about Plexus, because by the time I got home from Silver Stars, I had a new one in my mail. I opened the mail. It was right there. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? She had it ordered immediately to make sure I got my award. So not my first one. We'll have words about that, but that was super cool. So then the running joke for me and my upline is that Tarl hates me because I did the dance on the stage last year, the unicorn leggings, okay? And that dance apparently bugged him. And I have a picture of him looking backstage like, what the crap is up with this chick? I think he instantly hated me. And it was awesome because then I have 7 brothers. I got to tease you and get in your face. So I would walk up to him and be like, hey, Taro, remember me? Hey, Taro. Hey. Show a little leg, my unicorn leg. Anyway, he wasn't as entertained as I wanted him to be. So when he wasn't at Silver Stars, I was bummed because I was totally going to bug him because I'm kind of a brat and I'm rebellious. But so anyway, that was that piece. So Silver Stars launching in was a total accident. I mean that, and I'm pointing that out because just like Joanna said, not only can anybody do it, I wasn't trying to, and that's not to say I'm so amazing. I'm always just rolling up those silvers. It's not that. Just what I do. It really, the funny thing is, the last 2 months I've had more silvers each month than I did that month. And you can't win it again. That's so stupid. But you can't win it twice in a row. I want to be one of my people, but the point is, I wasn't trying to do it. I was just doing what I knew worked. And that would be my biggest point. If you take nothing else away from it would be that just like Lisa said, we are all so different. If you take Joanna, Lisa, and I, we are unbelievably different. We had a great time together. It's not to say anything about even just relationships, but I am the first person to combat when my people will say, oh, I'm not a salesperson, I could never do that. The first thing I say is, I'm glad. Because this is not lipstick and skirts. This is not selling stuff. I'm not doing a Tupperware party. I am sharing something that is truly shedding a light in a very dark place for many people. In a place that I was in where I didn't even know how dark it was. I didn't know how bad it was. You guys, when I found Plexus, it was because my very good friend, who is the least salesy person in the whole wide world, seriously, she posted, I'm off my insulin after 4 months of using this stuff, and I have no more IBS. And I was like, okay, I don't know what IBS is, but really? What? Diabetes? So it was crazy, but she said something about depression. And I had just 4 months before been diagnosed with, the doctor called it high functioning depression. And I really, really struggled with that diagnosis because, for one, I'm a loud, happy girl. I am, and it's to the core. I'm loud and I'm happy, but I have always been in major control of my emotions. I'm not an emotional person. I'm happy. I feel good. I can reason through my feelings and thoughts. So when someone tells me that there is now a label to put on me that says I can't control it, devastating. I truly struggled with that diagnosis more than the actual experience of depression because it was an identity crisis. It robbed me of who I was, I thought. And the reason I'm making such a point of that is that I really, I just didn't know how bad it was, and I didn't recognize it until I started to see the holes in my family where I was not connecting with my children. Guys, let's be real. We struggle to be as good as we know we can be. We all do. Whether it's a fear of failure or a fear of success, We all struggle to be as good as we know we can be. And yet we do. And for me, I'm probably too arrogant. I don't think I'm going to fail. I really don't have the fear of failure. And part of it is because I've seen success. From the time I didn't even mean to, I posted and I had a flood. I was, my first week, I think I had 13 people, and it was like, okay. But then it was Jex going, oh, that's a good week. And then it was just as we got going and I didn't have a gauge, then I started to see, oh, those are good numbers. But I was messing around. And I was using what I knew, and I was using my strengths. But when I started to see the responsibility that it required, the organization that it required, the skill that it required, the strategy that it required, all of a sudden it was a little bit less fun, and it was more like, oh, ooh, somebody's gonna like need me to do stuff on their timeline. That's not me. I'm by the seat. I started to fear success. And it happened so subtly that I didn't realize that mentality was going to keep me stuck for a long time in a place that I knew I didn't belong anymore. And I think we all go through this to some degree or another, some more than others. Some people burn out and fizzle and go. That's okay. But some of us, and you can nod or acknowledge or whatever, but some of us know that this is like, we're called to do this. Some of us feel like it's this mission from God almost. And I do. I believe in God, and I believe he has a plan for me. So I hang on to that. You may not believe in that. So whatever it is that drives you and makes you know that there's something bigger than you, whether it's purpose, whether it's healing, whether it's loving people, I don't know, whether it's the money, none of those are wrong. Take your strength and accentuate it and use it and make it your best self and make that your business. I have my people on my team constantly tell me, hey, Liz, I want to do this, but I will never be you, for better or for worse. I'm sure most of the time they're insulting me and I'm like, I'm amazing. but they really just, for whatever reason, there are different things, some good, but I know that I am a busy girl. I have to pull back and say, guys, I have 6 kids. So let's just eliminate plexus and for a second and acknowledge I'm just freaking busy no matter what. So when I first got in the fight with my husband because I ordered it and then asked for forgiveness because we were cutting out all the expenses, you know what? He knew what I was. So cut out all these expenses so that we could finish the basement for my mother-in-law who had just lost her home. That's a very noble thing. It was not bad of him to be upset because from where he sat, I was being selfish to try another snake oil that wasn't going to work because I just wanted to feel better. And in my head, I'm going, oh, no. You really want me to feel better because I don't like you very much.
1 second, Liz. So I don't know why, but it's saying that the Zoom is ending in like 4 minutes.
Shut up. Hey, thanks, guys. Bye.
So let me ask real quick. Do we want to stop, set up another Zoom, and continue?
Your team votes. I planned on an hour. Your team votes.
Okay. What do you guys?
If you guys are sick of me, you guys just click off and don't come back. It'll be so funny.
I actually think that there might be time, like questions, and I mean, I think.
No, I'm totally teasing. I'm good for whatever. You guys are great.
Okay, Wendy.
I definitely want to hear her whole story, and so I definitely think we need to.
Wait, let's leave it, you guys. Let's leave a cliffhanger. And then he died, and what?
Okay,
hurry. Mic drop.
Let's cut this one, and I'll have Wendy create another Zoom.
And the other man. Oh, okay.
And we'll send it out. No, because I do. Let's finish it. I agree with you, Julie.
So we can just hop on the same one. So once we leave the meeting, we should be able to re-log on. So when our meetings have ended, we just are able to log on to the back one. So we just all usually hop back on when it ends.
Back in through the link?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
See you in a minute, maybe.
Awesome.
Right,
See you in a minute.
everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.